Okay, I just want to share the screen quickly and then we can go from there. Okay, as you saw in the previous blog, we first focused on the Hebrew word levonah, and it means frankincense. It is this word here. And I must say, when I prepared that blog, it was really such an amazing engagement for me. And I've actually never seen frankincense in that light. But what I love, if I can just recall some of the things that were written in the blog about frankincense, is that the incense represents our perfect union in Christ. It represents the accomplished work of the cross, is what's in that fragrance. In that fragrance, we have the structure of ascension that we engage with. And frankincense also represents that intimacy chamber. Now, we might blush when we think about it, but the sexual union between a man and a woman represents that intimacy that we have with Jesus in the intimacy chamber. It is that moment where we unlock our oneness and who we are in him and him in us. When we look at the word levonah and frankincense, you'll see here at the bottom, I've added the numerical values of each of the Hebrew letters. We call them gematria. So when we add them up together, we get to 93. And if we take 9 plus 3, we've got 12. And the 12th Hebrew letter is lamed. And if we take 2 plus 1, then we have 3. And then we have the Hebrew letter gimel. So lamed has got to do with a staff, and it represents teaching, and gimel is what it represents camel and the resources that are being brought from the heavenlies to us. Now, when I looked at what the Hebrew word, if we combine lamed and gimel together, you get the Hebrew word log, and it actually means a measure of oil. And how interesting is that if we are focusing on frankincense, which is there, that when we combine the numerical values to what it works out at the bottom, we get a measure of the oil that is used within the temple or in the Holy of Holies. So I just wanted to highlight that for you, and we can just keep that in the back of our mind when we go forward. When we go to our next word in the blog that we are focused in this week was the Hebrew word meģil, and that is the Hebrew word for scroll. There was another word that you saw on the blog, which was sefer. It's a very well-known name, and that means also scroll, but it is the words within the scroll. So both meģil and sefer work hand in hand. Now, when we go also into the numerical values of each one, meģil, which is scroll, works out to 78. And if we plus that together, we get to 15. And the 15th Hebrew letter is samech. And if we plus 5 plus 1 is 6, and the 6th Hebrew letter is vav. And vav means man. When we go to sefer at the bottom, the numerical value works out to 340. And obviously, when we plus 3 plus 4, we get to 7. And the 7th Hebrew letter is zayin. And zayin means weapon or sword. And if you think how closely that relates to your kingship, and that's why I always encourage you that you as a son of God, as a king, priest, and prophet. So as a king, just think about those words that are in the scroll are closely related to you as a king and as the weapon within your mouth. So when we take it a little bit further, And we're going to take this Vav and the Zayin, and we're going to put them together. Let me put it here at the bottom. You actually get the word Ziv. So here we have scroll. Here we have the words in the scroll. Meģila and Sefer go together. If we combine the last letter numerical values of each one, we get the Hebrew word Ziv. And this is actually the Hebrew month that we are currently in, which is Laya. So this is very, very significant because it means that in the time that we have entered now in the Hebrew calendar, there is an opening of scrolls and the words in the scrolls that are being released over the sons of God. So that we are in a month or in a period where the realms are opening up and Yahweh is opening scrolls over the sons of God to reveal their next. So this is very, very significant. And the scripture that was linked to it, let me write it here for you so that you can remember it, is 1 Kings 6, verse 37. And that scripture reads that in the 4th year, the foundation of the house of the Lord was laid in the month of Ziv. So in other words, we are in a period where God is wanting to reveal something to you in your scroll as the temple of the Lord. And he wants to open that seal to you to engage with. So today, we are in our ascension. We are going to engage with frankincense, and we're going to use frankincense as our structure of ascension. We're going to use it as our perfect union in Christ, the fragrance of the intimacy chamber. And from there, we're going to move in from that intimacy chamber. We're going to step into the framework of our scroll and the words written in it and what Yahweh is wanting to show and reveal to you. So I trust that you've got your frankincense. If you have it, if you don't have it, it's not a crisis. I want you to, 2 things. Your breathing is important. I want you to relax. All right. Your breathing and your imagination. Use that. Okay. During our ascension, continue to focus on your breathing because your breathing activates body, soul, and spirit to work together in the engagement and the ascension. Alrighty. So there where you are, just want you to get comfortable. Often I take frankincense and I put it on my top lip, so that the fragrance is pretty close. I rub it in my hands, or I've got it in a diffuser, however you would like to use it. And I just want you to just close your eyes and just start to breathe. Breathe in with your nose, out with your mouth. And in that process, like always, we imagine Jesus in front of us. And when you breathe in, I just want you to see an aroma and a frequency being released from him. And you breathe that in and you breathe it out. When you breathe out, be aware of whatever thoughts are plaguing you, worries, concerns, whatever there is. You breathe that out of your spirit, man. You breathe in from Jesus, you breathe the junk out. So let's take a minute or 2 and you just settle your spirit as you focus on that motion. As you are breathing in, concentrate on your body experiencing what your spirit is receiving. So you want to translate from the breathing, from your spirit, that your physical body experiences what you're breathing in and out, as you're starting to absorb that frequency from Jesus. Just keep on breathing. Keep on imagining what I showed you. I want you to move closer to Jesus. We're going to step into Jesus. And as he's standing in front of you, you're breathing. I want you to start just sensing and experiencing, smelling the frankincense, the incense that is being released from his spirit into your spirit. So as you smell that frankincense, you're breathing in that frequency, that fragrance being released from him, and you breathe it back into him. Because remember, the frankincense represents that intimacy chamber. So as you are standing face to face with Jesus, you are breathing in breath unto breath. Smell that frankincense, and you breathe it in, you breathe it back into Jesus, and you keep on exchanging that fragrance. As you engage with that incense, you become aware of the intimacy and the vulnerability of you in Jesus and him in you. As you are breathing in the frankincense and that incense that is being released from Jesus' spirit, I want you to see it is like he is dissolving in that fragrance that is being absorbed into your spirit, man. So your spirit is starting to align itself with the frequency and the fragrance that is being released from Yeshua. In that aroma that you are breathing in and out, imagine with your spirit eyes that union and how Jesus as that fragrance is entangling with your spirit. And remember, even though you don't have the frankincense oil with you, you can still smell in the spirit the fragrance of that oil being released. Move towards that place where you can feel your spirit is like a fragrance, and it's entangling with that fragrance of Jesus. So you sort of picturing your spirit man that is like vapor and like smoke, as it's an incense that is entangling with Jesus. And as you smell that frankincense, that incense, I want you to picture your spirit man. You can feel your whole body, spirit, soul, and body is starting to ascend and move and go deeper and deeper into the spirit. Just continue to experience that ascension as you are going deeper into that intimacy chamber within Jesus. As you move up or going in deeper, be aware of the angelic realm that is moving around you and facilitating that aroma of incense and the intimacy chamber that you're moving into. As you are entangling with that fragrance of frankincense, be aware of your union in Jesus, that oneness, that in that fragrance, there is no separation between you and Him. Complete union. You are perfect in that place. As you are in that fragrance, Start to experience your spirit man. It is like a suction, a rapid suction that all of a sudden you just feel you are getting sucked in into the complete depths of the spirit realm. And just allow your spirit man to go with the fragrance as you go deeper and deeper and deeper. You will most likely feel your body, might feel a bit lightheaded. You'll feel that new wine flowing through your body as your whole being is just being intoxicated with that presence. Just continue to breathe it in. Allow your spirit, I'm going to give you a moment, but allow your spirit to ride the wave of the incense, of the aroma. And as you move with a structure, that ascension of the frankincense that moves up, that your spirit man is entangled with it, be aware of where it's taking you. It is unlocking that union in Jesus. And as you move, it's like an adventure journey that you go into the kingdom. And just be aware of where it takes you and what it's showing you. Keep your focus on the intimacy chamber and going deeper into that place. Be aware of the frequency that the incense releases in your spirit. So in other words, just be aware of a frequency moving through your body. You can experience a tingling, a bit of drunkenness, but that frequency is busy aligning your spirit man for an engagement. And just continue to soak up that frequency. In front of you, I want you to picture a circle, which is a door, it's a realm we're going to move into. By that door, that circle, that realm, there is an angel standing there. And that angel has a scroll in his hand. Now, as you are moving in that frequency of that incense, that oneness within Jesus, I want you to move towards that circle. And I want you to go to the angel. I want you to take that scroll that he is giving you. And then I want you to step through that realm. And I want you to see the Hebrew letter Mem in front of you. Mem represents water. It represents secrets and mysteries. As you got your scroll, just picture Mem as standing in front of you, and you're just going to move straight through it. As the gate we go through, and I just want you to keep on moving forward. Just feel your spirit going deeper and deeper and deeper into a place of secrets and mysteries. You got the scroll in your hand, and your spirit man is just moving deeper. Continue to be aware of the incense and that fragrance, that union in Jesus. And your spirit is just going deeper and deeper and deeper. And you just keep on going deeper. You are coming or arriving to another circle, which represents another realm. I want you to move into that realm. When you move into that realm, I want you to imagine and just see it as a place that has aromas. It is nearly like mist everywhere. And it looks like a place of secret and mysteries. But you are very aware of the incense that you can smell and the aromas that are moving around within this realm. And it's like you're in a steam room. And as you move into that place, there's an angel standing in that realm. I want you to give him the scroll that was given to you at the gate. And he takes the scroll from you. And I want you just for a moment there in that place of that intense aroma. It is like the Holy of Holies where you're at. Be aware of the presence of Yahweh in the place. Take a moment and smell with your spiritual senses the aromas that are in that place. Be aware of the intensity as it's fusing into your spirit man and it's releasing fragrances in and through you. It's like the garden of spices. It's a place where the intimacy of Jesus is very tangible. And as you are standing there, you can just feel that aroma being released from that place. And the incense is moving in and through your body. There's like an interaction that's busy happening with your spirit, man. As you breathe, you release from your spirit, you breathe in, you take in from the place the aromas. There are angels moving around there, administering the fragrances to your spirit. See an angel come with a vase and a jar, and they're pouring it out over you. They're completely saturating your spirit, man, with these fragrances in the garden of spices. And I just want you to just take a moment to experience what is happening in your spirit, what is being aligned. If a new fragrance is being instilled into you, it means you are going to release something new. So there's a calibration happening within this intimacy chamber. And just take in and be aware what the angels are doing and bringing towards you, what you need to engage with, what you need to eat. So I'm just going to give you a moment to just take time and experience what is happening with you in this chamber, in this garden of spices, being released in and through you. Every aroma is an ascension into a dimension of Yahweh. Just think of when Esther was being prepared for the king. Her body was ointments, oil, fragrances, etc., being prepared for the king. Now, each fragrance was released within you in preparation for your engagement with the king and the scroll that's going to be revealed to you. So as you are in this place, be aware of the angelic realm still around you. And as you move with the fragrance of that frankincense, like within the Holy of Holies, the angels are arcing over you. And as you move forward, as you go deeper in that intimacy chamber, you see Yahweh in front of you. And as he's standing in front of you, the angel comes to him and gives him the scroll. Now I want you to imagine and just see how the scroll is not separate from Yahweh. It's as if it's part of who he is. Because remember, he's the one that spoke into that scroll and reveals everything about who and what you are, the destiny that he has for you. And as he opens that scroll, it's like he's opening himself. And he continues to unroll that scroll, and you see the words that are written on it. When you look at the scroll, when you look at the Hebrew letters on the scroll and the words that are on the scroll, I want you to see that they're alive, that they are living beings, and there's light that comes forth from them. There's frequency coming up, and it's alive. There's an aroma, there's fragrance being released from the scroll. So break away from seeing the scroll as a piece of paper. It is a living being, and it vibrates with the frequency. Remember we spoke in the blog that that scroll echoes the frequency of Yahweh. And as that scroll is standing in front of you, I want you to move closer to it, and I want you to step into the scroll. When you step into the scroll, see those words wrap around you. And with that frankincense fragrance, it is just igniting that oneness and that union that you have within him. And as you step into that scroll, I want you to experience a release, an explosion of the frequency of the words that are written in that scroll, and it explodes within your spirit being. I just want to give you a minute and just experience that whole process and your engagement with that scroll before we take it further. As you are engaging with that scroll, be aware of the sound that's being released from it, an echo from the presence and the image of Jesus within the scroll. And just feel your spirit resonating with the fragrance and the sound coming from the scroll. Be aware of the song that's being released in your spirit that resonates with that echo from the scroll. Okay, as you're in that place of entangling with the scroll, I want you to bring forward to Yahweh to reveal to you or show in your scroll what is the next. What is there something that you're not aware of, or what is the next phase that is taking you into? Maybe you have a sense of not having purpose or maybe lost purpose, but there's something that entangling with a scroll that he's wanting to show and reveal to you. Now see, as you are entangling with a scroll, that Yahweh is moving it lower to a place where it's blank, and he's going to write into that space, into your scroll. Your angel is with you to administer and facilitate what Jesus is going to show to you in the scroll that he wants to reveal to you. So just take your time and be aware of what is it that he's showing you. It can be a word that pops out. It can be a picture. But just entangle and just be aware of what it is that Yahweh is showing you around that scroll. You might not always specifically see or sense what it is that he's writing or showing you. But what is important is to recognize that he is writing something and that he is showing you something. I want you to take what was written, whether you know what it is or not, and you roll it up. Jesus gives you that scroll, and like he did with Ezekiel, he's telling you to eat that scroll. So you take that scroll and be aware of the fragrance in that scroll. So as you put it in your mouth and you chew and you eat it, it's like honey and oil that just wraps around your spirit, man. Be aware of that which he showed you or what he wrote on the scroll, is that frequency is being released and that fragrance is being released into your spirit. So it is being unlocked for manifestation. And as you eat it, I want you to see that there's a gate opening in your spirit, and what you ate, it gets released through that gate. It's like a light that shines out of your spirit, man. And a new dimension opens up within your new creation being. It is as if you were equipped and enamored with the next. As you ate the scroll, be aware of your previous self no longer exists. That old skin, that old wine skin, that old mold is completely gone. And in the spirit, you are enveloped with a complete new framework of engagement. I want you to look at your spirit after you've now eaten that scroll, and I want you to see just frequencies and notes that are being released and moving from without your spirit, man, and they're entangling with the echo and the sound being released from Yahweh. So there's an entangling that is happening and a new song that is being released from your spirit. I want you to, in that moment, just experience that oneness and that union that you have with Jesus, and a new synergy, if I can call it that, that has been released within your spirit. There's a new dimension in that intimacy chamber that has been unlocked and released. We want to finish off this engagement. I want you to see that Jesus gives you a sword in your hand. So a new weapon has been unlocked and released within the realm of new engagement. So that new and next that's been released and unlocked in your scroll, that you are being equipped to facilitate and manifest that new dimension that is released within you. And I want you to take that sword, and as you hold it up, just see it become one with your spirit. And just seeping into your spirit, man. You don't want to leave the garden of spices. You don't want to leave from this place. Your spirit man has been unlocked for this realm. So just there where you are, just feel your spirit settling to there where you are seated. You can feel your feet grounded on the floor. And then everything that you've engaged in that moment is here with you in this realm. You are equipped with the new. The next has been released from your scroll and opened up unto you. Be aware that there's a new realm that your eyes, your ears, and your nose will be aware in engaging in the spirit realm. Your tongue will speak different mysteries. Your eyes will see deeper in the spirit. Your ears will hear finer things in the spirit. Your nose, your smell, your senses will be aware of the deeper things. Just want you to breathe in and be aware of that fragrance of the incense and the frankincense, and breathe out. And you breathe it in again, and you breathe out. And then you can open your eyes. Alrighty then. I must say, for a while there, with engaging with the incense and breathing in the frankincense, I could just feel such a tingling in my body, you know. It's as if I was like just getting intoxicated with that fragrance. But I want to open the floor, and I just want to give you an opportunity for anybody who would like to share their experience. And yep, so just remember to unmute yourself.
I'll just start with the fragrance was essential, really pure essential oil, but then it became like a swimming pool the longer we went. So I agree.
Wonderful. I like the swimming pool of fragrance and oil.
I experienced that in a very similar way. Right before we entered the Garden of Fragrances, like once I'd walked through Maine, I was walking along a beach path, and then I got at the end of the beach, and Father said, "Let's go up." And so I was like, "You said up?" And and he said, "Yes, let's go up." And so then he took me into the universe, and somewhere among the stars, that's where I found the Garden of the Fragrances, and in a really special place with him. And there was also indeed a pool, and the angels started by splashing me and putting on robes of fragrances. But then in the end, they were like, okay, you're going to spend some time in the myrrh bath. And so they had me under, and I was like, oh, I can breathe here. And so, because I was like, do I have to get up again? I said, no, you stay in. and I sensed Jesus with me there. And then when he took me out to go to Yahweh, I felt like I had left a lot of stuff behind. And I felt so much slimmer and almost transparent. But then once he started having me take in the fragrances of the scroll, it felt like I received new muscles and just a new shape for my body.
Awesome. Fantastic. Thank you, Dorette. And I can resonate with that. It was the same with me when I was soaking up the scroll. It was being equipped to be able to do something new that I could never do before. Go for it, Norma.
I have to say I resonate with the exact same thing, because from the very beginning, just going through MEM, I was going through it's almost like 3 different types of waters that were doing these incredible things, like a waterfall, the river of life, and like this, what was the 3rd stream of water? It was just crazy. It's like from the waters of the deep and the waters above. It was like the womb of God, like his desire. And I know you've done desire before, which was so outrageous. And it's like the Lord had me spread out right at the beginning, all the living letters that, Kelly did for me.
Nice.
And it's like, then it's like everything I experienced going through all the realms with Yeshua, and then standing before Yahweh. It's like Ruach was there. It's like they all just poured into me. And as I ate the scroll, it was like honey. It was like, before that, I saw the angels and the 7 spirits coming to me like kings, like the wise men coming to Jesus. Wisdom was there, coming with like gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And I think one of the waters was like this river of life, but river of gold. And it's like the scroll was like such, it was coming right from Elohim's plural heart. And it's like, then I, picked up these, and, it's like, I thought, well, I remember this. And it's like, the Lord said, yes, it's in your spirit, and he's going to help me remember. But even before this engagement, he had me in my sketchbook drawing this place of mystery. And he also gave me a painting I'm going to do, this place of mystery. And he showed me the mystery, and I'm going to write about that as well in the spirit, which is like writing just as he gives the mystery to me. I just write it. Because he'll say, grab a pen, and I just write by faith. And it's like, I think it's coming from here, but then I read it later, and it's like, oh, this is not me, it's you. So there was a lot of joy and laughter, but it was like gold, frankincense, and myrrh, which align with, I forget what, but I'll maybe say what it is again. But thank you, Cheryl. Mwah.
Wonderful.
Oh,
Norma.
and my
Thank you
back
for
got
sharing.
totally healed. My back, it was like the seat. It was like the seat of the lowest realm of, it was like all my gateways got just immersed in all the oil the angels were pouring over me. And all of my gates, all the 7 physical gates became, it was like then the soul gates, and then the spirit gates, and they all got, my back feels so differently, I just have to say.
Wonderful. Thank you for mentioning the gates. And I wanted to tell you guys, this is why frankincense is also so important, is that because it opens gates in your spirit man. So when we engage with incense, it is like keys to the gates of your spirit. And when you engage that fragrance and that incense, it opens gates that your spirit man engages and goes into realms.
Hey, Sean.
Nolene.
Hi, yeah. Yeah, Norma, gee, you spoke so much of a lot of things that I actually went through, especially with the waters. It was like 3 different streams coming together. And I felt almost it was like the amniotic fluid of God in his heart. It was this place of creativity and creation. And wow, she really shared a lot of the things that I saw, and the frankincense and the myrrh. And I said, Lord, why that, particularly the myrrh? And he said to me, because there are things that you need to die to. And it's killing off that in you that you've been wanting me to remove from you. But I was naked coming to him, but there was no shame. It was just such beauty and intimacy. And he then clothed me in this dress, but it was made up of white musical notes. It was like righteousness, but they were musical notes and frequencies that just wrapped themselves around me. And then he opened my scroll and he said, step into it. As you said that, he said to me, step into it. And it became a pathway, but a river as well. And he just said, no, you're going to go and walk that out. Just walk it out. It's that simple. Just walk it out. And there was just so much. And then the 7 spirits came, and also they were wrapping around me, and the different fragrances that they were bringing. And it was, I'm going to go and do a lot of writing as well, and a lot of, I think there's some songs he's giving me and things that he's going to be unlocking and unwrapping for me.
Yes.
That was, wow, incredible.
Wow, fantastic, Nolene. While Nolene was speaking, what is important for you guys now, because it's not always possible in an engagement to always hear specifically what he is telling you, but there's an activation that happened and a release. So what you guys need to do is, in your prayer time going forward now, is that you pray into and you speak into what was released when you stepped into the scroll. Because that realm and that dimension has now been activated. So during your guys' prayer time or meditation, you start to speak into that engagement that happened tonight. And you start to release it into your daily life. And in your quiet time, I don't know if you guys journal or if you write down, but journaling is a very simple but yet profound way of releasing what you hear from Yahweh when he speaks to you. And then you can start to write down, and this is where you'll start to get detail about what he released in your scroll, etc. So remember now, today's engagement was an activation point for you to continue engaging with in your prayer time and meditation time, etc. Right, anybody else like to share?
Can I share one more thing in that light, Charles? Because believe it or not, the Lord had me, go to, your church site on YouTube, and you were teaching about, or it was even last night, he had me start listening to it. And it's the one on tongues, engaging heaven's frequency.
Oh, yes.
And as you were speaking and saying, pray over this, it was like the Lord brought this back. I mean, that is a profound teaching about how we are speaking our scroll and the mysteries. It's like the two go hand in glove. Don't just say, well, Lord, you showed me this in the engagement. I really want that, but I don't feel worthy or capable. It's like, just pray in tongues, because it activates your scroll. Like you said, I think I remember you saying that.
Absolutely. Thanks for bringing that up, Norma.
Awesome.
John, can you hear me?
Yes, go for it.
Just many things. So it's experiencing that the sound that was of many waters washing over and within me, and they were a kaleidoscope of colours, and they were meshing and encircling and then becoming one with me. And then I saw crystallized modules, and I was
Yes.
becoming one with these modules, and they were scroll parchments becoming one with me. So I was just soaking up their frequency and just responding and receiving, and fragments of these parchments were becoming one with me, and in that my whole body was shaking, and I just felt the recalibration of happening within me, and moving into a deeper realm of intimacy in my relationship with him in mystical union. And I've had the words of imparting a teachable parchments being imparted within me to release to others. A new path is opening up for me to walk in.
Wonderful. That's exciting, Carmel. Thank you for sharing.
Can I just share one?
Go through it.
It
Catherine.
was a real revelation to me that this scroll is a living, like of the Hebrew living letters. I didn't realize that before. I saw it just as an animate object. So that was just so fascinating. Just what the Lord showed me in that, the scripture in Proverbs 18:4, that when we were engaging with the mem and the water, that it's like an underground spring. I used to be in the water business, so it's the way the Lord speaks to me. An underground spring that bubbles up is just what we were engaging with the mem and going through the gates. It's like the spring is like the Torah, God's living word, and it's like springing up like a mysterious source, which is God, like flowing through the inner wisdom, which can be expressed when we speak. So Proverbs 18:4, the words a man speaks are deep waters, a flowing stream, a fountain of wisdom. So we were engaging with the scroll, the living, entangling with us. It was just so powerful. I'm just like, sometimes I'm just shell-shocked at what we're engaging with sometimes. So I'm just, thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you for sharing. Always remember, with every engagement, you have unlocked a new realm in your spirit. So it is always important that after our Wednesday engagement, that for that week that you focus on it, be it in your prayer time, etc. I want to say, you've heard about the phrase to flesh it out. So in other words, the activation happened on the Tuesday and the Wednesday. So in the next couple of days, you just continue to release it in your prayer time so that your spirit man can start to open up that ancient path for you to engage in. A little bit, Avril.
Okay, is that better? Is that better?
It's a bit better, yeah.
Okay. This is by far one of the most insane, blissful, ecstatic, amazing encounters I've ever had. I don't even have words, and there was so much going on. But there was one thing that was just weird for me. When you said that we must ask Yahweh to show us the next, all I could see was cherries. I'm like, what the heck? After this insane engagement, I get cherries. I just looked up cherries, and it says now I want to cry. I don't know. I'm laughing, crying. Cherries herald a time of sweetness, love, and harmony. Cherry juice is considered an elixir of immorality, most often associated with the feminine aspects of beauty, sexuality, and procreation. Whoa, I'm blown
Sure.
away. Whoa.
Yeah. Listen, that oozes intimacy. My goodness. That is amazing.
I'm done.
So thanks for sharing, Avril. That is special.
Can I share?
Hi, Diana.
Hi, Deanne. Hi, everyone from the UK. That was amazing. So much. So much. It's like, where do I begin? Wow. I'll start with honey lips. I just got the Lord was pouring honey on his lips, you know, and I went, okay, that's lovely. I was finished then, it was completely gone. Okay. But going back a bit, I only had to activate the scroll. Well, even the pool of water we went through, ma'am, what I saw was the Lord asked me to come into this pool, and it's full of lilies, and the pool was deep. And then I went into the pool, and then I came out, sort of something transformed, and I emerged from the smoke of the incense as a bride. And I went, okay. And then the scene changed. And then I was carrying a censer full of incense and just walking. And the atmosphere just got thicker and thicker with incense and fragrance. And you mentioned like there was a change in vibration and frequency. I sort of experienced that change in vibration, like when energy is like aligning, and it was really different. I can't even got the words to express what it was like. And then when you spoke about engaging the scroll and entering into the scroll, first of all, when the scroll was open, I saw an aleph in sapphire in the scroll, and it was just shining. And then
Nice.
I went, oh, okay, that's interesting. And before you said eat the scroll, I'd already eaten it. I just so, you know, I went, oops, what should I do? I can't give it to the angel. I've already eaten the scroll. Sorry. God. That's just me anyway. I'm just gonna be a bit presumptuous. So then so much. There was so much. And then we said encounter the scroll. I sort of moved into the scroll, and then there was this explosion of rubies just like dropping out of the scroll. And then there was like, I saw like lily of the valley, which is my favorite flower, the fragrance of lily of the valley. And I saw those two really clearly. And then the scene changed. And then I was looking up at a new moon. I don't know what that means. I know it means something, but I'm just wondering if you could share what a new moon means. Yes, those are some things you don't know.
Maybe someone on the group can give me the significance of a new moon.
It's the light shining, the beginning of light shining through the darkness, because the day of the new moon is like, you know, the big moon goes away, and it's like the atmosphere, the firmament, the cosmos is dark. But that's the thing I want to paint, seeing the light of God breaking through the darkness. I don't know how I'm going to paint it, but I'm going to. And that's what I saw this morning before our engagement. So
Okay.
I don't know if that resonates, but.
I see Sunil also wrote there that it represents new birth, which pretty much ties in with the scroll being released. So that's for sure.
The full moon also has this massive effect on water. So the shift of energy.
That is true.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, Selena.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
All right, as we move towards the end, is there anybody else that would still like to share?
May I share?
Go for it, Keturah.
Hi. The scroll was absolutely scrumptious. It was just, wow, it was so good, so yummy. And when we were going deeper, I saw myself climbing to go deeper this ladder, and it was so cool. It was made out of telescopes and binoculars. And Yahweh said, you're climbing to where you have seen. You've seen it afar, now you're going to see it near. And the pathway that I walked on was made out of eyes. And every step I took, it was like my sight was enlightened, and I saw deeper and saw higher. And he reminded me that my name, which comes from my Jewish heritage, the meaning of the letters in it, they mean incense, sweet fragrance to Yahweh, honey, healing, and kind, and honey, healing, and crowned one. And he reminded me that he has told me before that I am one of his signature fragrances, and that he breathes me in, and he wants me to breathe in my own fragrance and to live that, to become that fragrance.
Wow, very special.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Keturah.
I have one more question before you close us off. Is that all right?
Yeah, sure.
So I wasn't going to wait for you to finish. I was just going to ask it. Sorry. So that frankincense, you had mentioned something about in the teaching first, the spices. I don't know, man, I'm completely outside of time at this point, but you had mentioned something about the Esther and her spices, which I had thought of. If you have more teachings on that, I'd love to hear, but or be directed to them. I was so overwhelmed by the sense, the reason I said the pool, I'm not much of a water person. I'm a big mountain person, like the big ones. I had to lay down. It was as if I could not sit up anymore, but not that I was getting knocked down. It was just so not appropriate. I had to lay down. And I was wondering, then you said that this, basically these ascensions would unlock something in the spirit man, correct? That you enter back into that throughout the week or throughout the rest of your life. And you grow from there as opposed to from here, is what I'm trying to understand, because there's so much that I had to fall asleep, because it was almost like I can't hear anything. It's like so much happening in the spirit realm that I'm like, I'm just going to go under the water and stay here and trust that it'll soak in.
Yes.
And then, yeah, go on.
So what I'm trying to encourage you, because so much happens within an engagement and your senses actually get overwhelmed. And because we take you in a place where your spirit most likely hasn't experienced before, so it's new ancient pathways being opened up, is to take the next coming days and to ponder on your experiences that you engaged with in the blog and in the ascension, so that it is like a fragrance that that simmers within your spirit man, so that it can soak up and settle in your spirit, and that gate that was opened. So there was a lot that happened, and it's actually as if you want to take the time so that your mind can actually comprehend what your spirit was going through and experiencing. So during your pondering and meditation time, it is as if your spirit, soul, and body just come together to be able to interpret and comprehend what was happening within your spirit during the engagement. Does that make sense? And this is also where the journaling comes in, and just your time with Jesus, and just write down so that he can tell you what it is that your spirit was busy experiencing and what he was doing in and through you. And also remember, you won't be able to remember everything. You know, it's just impossible. But something in your spirit was turned, something was aligned, and there's just a greater openness that you'll experience in general.
I guess my main concern, that's helpful, hearing it twice now, but my main concern is, you know how you learn something and it's so foreign that you don't have anywhere for it to land. So your brain tends to shred things. I know we're moving in the spirit, but then my brain wants to go, oh my gosh, it's just too much. So
yes.
So I guess the journaling, because I'm like, I don't even know what to write. I don't even know how to put words into things. I'll just dance it out or something. I don't know.
I find this is how it works for me, is that when I write something and I put a picture to it, is how I landed within my spirit, you know. So writing something and the journaling is a way for me to land it and to express and make the engagement practical, if that makes sense in a way. Many a time the arts and the creativity, because this is what's busy happening, is that as a new creation being and the things that we are engaging, there is an unlocking of creativity that's busy happening. And it's through that creativity that we're starting to discover our new creation living and our new creation being. And through that that creativity, we are able to express what we are busy experiencing. Because remember now, makes perfect sense that you're struggling to land it, because your spirit man is experiencing something it's never experienced before. So it's got no frame of reference, really. So, and it's through the creativity and the new expression that through us as a new creation being, that we are able to flesh out what we are busy experiencing. So the truth and the reality is that we are pioneering new stuff. We are going into new realms and dimensions. So it makes perfect sense that some of your body will go like, what? It's perfectly normal. But this is part of the maturing process as we go through, etc. Anybody else have a question that they might want to ask?
Shall
Yes,
I
Norma.
answer?
Oh, go ahead, Erica. I'll ask it after you. Go ahead.
I just want to add to that concept of Esther and the frequencies and the oils. So what happened with her there was that she, in preparation, all those oils, all the frequencies, all of them had a different function in basically raising and completely changing her frequency. So that, you know, with the oils and what she was eating and all those treatments, so that when she then engaged with the king, she could open a very specific gate. And there's a whole thing after that, and then that then resulted in changing the future of mankind.
Thank you, Erica. Absolutely.
Love
Norma?
it. I wanted to know, and I asked it in the chat, how can we, is there an app where we can look up what our name is in Hebrew and what the living letters are that spell our name? Or because when I was in the engagement, you know, it's like the Lord was also singing. It's like You know, it's like the angels and the Elohims, you know, you know, how do you say it? Hashalush, Hakadesh, you know, the Trinity. They were all singing, you know, in my direction. There was just these explosions. And, you know, then the Lord reminded me after the engagement that when I was very young, like 20, I heard him actually with my ears say my name. And it was like, who's here? What? Because I was living alone before I got married. And it was like, it was like this shocking thing. And then I realized it's the Lord. He just said my name.
Yes.
So.
Well, I think that what will be the easiest is to ask the Lord what it is, or to show you the spelling of the name at least. And then you can, you know, mail it to me and I can just go and look it up for you. There's no app really that I know of that can spell some of the stuff out. Maybe someone knows of an app like that, because you need a Hebrew lexicon, etc., to go and look up the letters, etc., names and so forth. But I'm not aware of an app or anything like that.
Okay, thank you.
But if you mail it to me, then I can see what I can.
I will ask some of my Hebrew friends that speak Hebrew.
Alrighty then. Just to let you guys know that we are busy upgrading the TRM website. So it's going to be a lot different and more user-friendly, etc. Some new things that we are adding to it, which is going to be wunderbar. And so I'm very excited in the next couple of weeks that we'll unveil that, etc. What I'm looking at is spiritual coaching, so that people can sign up for spiritual coaching, and we'll go through certain aspects of unlocking your spirit man, raising your frequency, developing your imagination, and all those kind of stuff that, you know, I'm going to be looking at and presenting. So wonderful. I love you guys big time. It was really awesome to see you and just to be with you guys. I missed you so much last week. It was just, but we're back on a roll again. Just remember, if you are looking for the recordings, they are attached to the blog. So if you go to all the previous blogs of the Hebrew words that we've been covering, at the bottom of the blog after the podcast recording, you'll find the YouTube clip is attached on the blog that you can go and look and revise, etc., if you'd like to. Alrighty then. Love you guys big time. Have an awesome week.
Love you lots.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye bye.
Wow.
Big
Thank you.
pleasure.
Bye.
Big
Shalom.
pleasure. Bye-bye.
Shalom.
The website is called myhebrewName.com, and you just type in your English name, it gives you your Hebrew name.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So Catherine, will you remember that for next week? And then when we start, then we can just type that into the chat so people can go and look up that stuff. That'll be fantastic. So it's called myhebrewName.com.
So you just punch in your name and then you put male or female, and then it'll show you what your Hebrew name is and the meaning.
Okay, fantastic. That will be very helpful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Catherine. Have a lekker week. Bye-bye, Ketura. It was great to see you. Bye-bye, Carmel.